So now we're going to look at dictionaries. And in Python, a dictionary is a way to group pairs of values together in a single data structure. So it's a bit like a list of tuples, but it's not quite the same. And you can't have more than two values. Okay, you can only have a pair of values. One is called a key and one is called a value, and you can use one to look up the other. I'll get to that in a minute. Python dictionaries, you can find them in other programming languages. They're sometimes called maps, so mapping values from one thing to another. And the big advantage of using a dictionary is that, as I said, you can use the first value to look up the second value. So like in a real dictionary where you use a word to look up its definition, or maybe a telephone directory where you use a name to look up a phone number or address. Nobody uses telephone directories anymore, but you get the idea. You have a list of things that you can look up, and then that gives you more information. So for example, if a pizza is selected at random, we can use the dictionary to look up the price of the pizza. So if we have a dictionary of the values of the pizza types of pizza and the keys, we have these key value pairs, the keys of the types of pizza, the values of the price of the pizza. We use the key, which is the type of pizza, to look up its price. But it doesn't go both ways. So we can't look up, if I know a price, I can't then look up a pizza. And of course that makes sense because, we could have two pizzas of the same price. And so how would we know which one it is? So the keys have to be unique, but the values can be different. As I mentioned at the top, in other programming languages, dictionaries are sometimes referred to as maps, and they do the same idea. Okay, so dictionary initialization. How do we create a dictionary? Well, in Python, a dictionary is created with curly brackets, and you can just add all the entries when you initialize it. So here's a dictionary of pizzas and their prices. So you can see I've got 3 pizzas. In fact, I've put this on 5 lines of code, but actually they could just go on 1 line of code. You can split them up like this into multiple lines, or you can just put it all on 1 line. So we've got margarita is the type of pizza, that's the key, and then the value is 6.0. That's the price. Okay, so we can look up, if we know what type of pizza it is, margarita, Napolitana, etc., we can then look up the price from the dictionary. The other way you can do that is kind of looks a bit like the way we use lists. So I can create an empty dictionary. Okay, so at the top here, I've got an empty dictionary. I can create the empty dictionary, and then I can add the entries one by one. And so pizza, if I say the margarita pizza, then the price of that is £6. And what then happens from that line is that the price and the type get put into the dictionary. So these 2 bits of code do exactly the same thing. They store exactly the same data. You just decide which is more convenient. Obviously, if you've got a very small dictionary like we have here, where we've got 3 items in the dictionary, I would suggest the first one is probably easiest. But if you have lots of things being added to the dictionary, then you probably want to do it the second way. You might do that in a loop, where you loop over all the things you're going to add and set the value like this. Okay. Dictionary usage. When we use dictionaries, as I mentioned, the items in a dictionary are referred to as key and value pairs, sometimes. So in the previous, margarita is the key and 6 is the value. And as I said, you can look up the value given the key. So if I know what the key is, the margarita, like this, I can look up the price in this way. So using these square brackets, so pizza's bracket with a key will then return the value, excuse me, which is the price in this particular case. Okay, I think I'm going to stop this video here, take a drink of water, and then we'll look at an example of using a dictionary for our pizzas in a second in the next video.